Watkins from Your Black World and the Black Business School. And I wanted to say hello this morning, and I hope you guys are having a good day. I'm not going to be here for too long because I'm going to head on out. I'm actually in Los Angeles right now because I'm doing an investment seminar on Sunday. If you want to come out, just go to drboycelosangeles.com. That's drboycelosangeles.com. I wanted to talk quickly about a topic that came to mind in a conversation that I was having with a friend of mine, and I thought that this would be good information for those of you who are on the paper chase, ambitious Black people. This is calling all intelligent Black people. What's going on? I see Mark G says ADOS, ADOS, ADOS. Right on. All right. I support other ADOSs, but I don't agree with the philosophy of people that are a part of the Yvette Carnell ADOS movement. I think that you have to lead through building, not through tearing things down. So. But at the same time, though, as you guys know, I actually helped. I introduced Yvette to Dr. Kevin Cosby, who's hosting her convention in Louisville, Kentucky, at St. Stephen's Church, and I don't regret that. But I encourage everybody who is a part of any movement involving reparations, Black people, anything like that, to focus on building as opposed to fighting. I don't think you can win a lot in the Black community by constantly fighting. So I will say that even though I support the people in the movement, I can't say I agree with everything about, how it's being led and things like that. But again, I believe every Black person is your own Black leader. I think a lot of your so-called leaders out here, it's fine if you support them, but I think at the same time, you got to lead your own family. I believe you can be the leader of your own house. And if other people want to provide support to what you want to lead yourself to do, then that's cool. Like including myself, I am not your leader. I am an advisor. Maybe I'm a teacher. Maybe for some of you, I'm a mentor. Maybe I can help inspire you. But don't just do shit because I tell you to do it. Do it because you know it's the right thing to do. So anyway, let's let me say hello to everybody. I see Debo, Rated R Radio, Benjamin Butler, Douglas, David K, The Family, Mama's Hand, Shalonda, Clarko, Crab Shack, Andre King. Shout out your city also. I see Orlando, Cola, South Carolina. Clarko says, I appreciate the knowledge you're dropping on the Black community. Thank you, man. I appreciate that very much. Thank you for those kind words. I don't know if it's a brother or sister. Sorry about that if I got it wrong. What's going on? Fort Lauderdale, Columbia, South Carolina, Syracuse, West Palm Beach, Pontiac, Michigan, Chicago, Lafayette, Louisiana, Compton. All right, London, England. I just gotta say that because I'm not too far from Compton. I'm actually going down to Inglewood. That's right. I'm going down to Inglewood today. I'm gonna meet with some brothers that actually run they write songs. It's like called the 1500 something. I think that's what they were called. Apparently they've written all these hits for people like Jay-Z and Snoop Dogg and Justin Timberlake and all, even white people, like these random white people like Rihanna, like all these famous people. So anyway, I'm going down there for a quick meeting with them, and I'll let you guys know if I see anything interesting. Of course, anything that they allow me to share. I'm not going to be out here telling Black people secrets and stuff, but it sounds like they've really done a great job, and I have a lot of respect for what I've seen so far. So I look forward to meeting them. But they're down in Inglewood, and you guys know on Sunday we're going to be doing an investment seminar all day long. You can go to drboycelosangeles.com if you want to fly in or you live in the area, drboycelosangeles.com. And then tonight, Fumi Lola, I think that's her name. I gotta look. I know that's her Instagram name. She's doing a play called Woke Black Folk in LA, and I think I'm gonna go check that out just to support her. We're not the same politically. You saw me and her and Tariq Nasheed had a really heated debate at the University of. See, I get names and places fucked up in my head, but it was a University of I think it's Cal State Long Beach, maybe, I think. But anyway, it was me and her and Tariq Nasheed on the stage, and we were just going at it. And she didn't agree with me, and I didn't agree with her, and we were battling. But she was so smart. I remember thinking about how smart she was. And so she invited me to her play. I decided to go, and I want to go. I'm happy to go because I really kind of think it's more fun to be Black when you don't get hung up on ideology. Like, I think she's a feminist, but I don't care. If you love Black people and I love Black people, then maybe let's figure out where we can agree as opposed to starting off with where we disagree. That's my whole philosophy on a lot of that. That's because I'm tired of fighting other Black folks over white people shit. Seriously, Democrat, Republican, you voted for Hillary, you voted for Trump, so I can't fuck with you anymore. Like, that's just stupid to me. Like, don't none of these people care about you. It don't matter who's in office. I bet every nickel in my bank account that if a Democrat gets into office, the Black community will still be as screwed up 5 years from now as it is right now, unless we make a change, unless we make an adjustment. If we make an adjustment, then the community will adjust. If we don't adjust, the community is not going to move forward. So anyway, let me hop in here and hit the conversation. Hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the thumbs up button, share and subscribe and all that. That really helps. So quickly today, I wanted to give you guys a couple of tidbits. This is coming from the University of Life. And in experience that I've had is up until this stage, talking to people, watching people live their lives. I learned a lot from watching older people and watching their mistakes. I learned a lot from watching people do things where I learned, okay, I don't want to do that with my life because that might not end up so well. I learned a lot from also research, from talking to lots of people. You guys know years ago, I wrote a book called Financial Lovemaking. And in this book, Financial Lovemaking, it was a reaction to the intrigue I've always had with the way love and money mix together. The way, people make bad decisions when it comes to money because of love, or they'll make bad decisions when it comes to love because of money. And you'll see people get in these marriages. And has anybody ever seen like a marriage where it started off lovey-dovey and then ended up turning into a complete shit show, like maybe a year or 2 or 3 into the marriage, like where you literally, if you really think about it, you're kind of like, wow, how did these two people who used to, publicly state, I will die for this person, don't talk about my man, don't talk about my woman, to suddenly they're like, oh my God, she's so manipulative, he's such a bastard, he's abusive, he's this, he's that. Like that was always fascinating to me. I swear to God, that used to really keep me up at night. And I would be like, how does this happen? What is the process? So I remember breaking down relationships from the inception to completion and trying to understand what happens at each stage that causes you to go from I love you, I'm going to share my body with you, I'm going to risk the fact that you could kill me, you could give me AIDS, you could steal my money, you could whatever, I'm willing to put all that on the line for you because I think you're that high, to getting to this point where it's like, I can't stand you. I hate your guts. When you walk in the room, I want to vomit. I might murder you in your sleep. Like, I just thought that was really interesting. And so what I learned from that was that, relationships are super powerful, and relationships are very important, and relationships are part of what gives us life. Literally, you all exist right now because somebody had a relationship with another person. It might have been a one night stand, but some human being was pulled into the orbit of another human being, and they interacted, their orbits interacted long enough for the Big Bang to occur, which the big orgasm, right, to occur. And the Big Bang was you, right? The orgasm wasn't just something built on pleasure and this nasty experience. It was the creation of life. It's the Big Bang that caused your whole existence, Carlos. Like, Carlos is here, Dual Victory is here, Wendell is here, Sharita is here, because we're all gods. We're all the result of some sort of tiny Big Bang that has occurred that led to the creation of your whole universe. Right now, my manager just sent me a quick little note. Let me see what she wants. I'm gonna tell her that I'm live. Let me see here. Hit the thumbs up button while I do that. Okay, so anyway, so I'll just check back into my messenger and hit her back up. So understanding relationships and love and life can give you a lot of insights into what you want to do with your life. I believe that people who take the time to try to think deeply and meditate on their future are the ones who are happiest, because deep inside of you, there is a magic formula that that defines what it takes for you to be fulfilled. There's some formula in you that, if it's done right, you will end up exactly where you want to be. You'll have the right amount of money, the right number of relationships, your health will be where you want it to be, and you got to figure that formula out. A lot of people never figure that out because the world is so fast and crazy and people don't know who they are. Everybody's so busy jumping on bandwagons and following trends, impressing people who don't matter, wasting their money on bullshit, wasting their time and their energy on nonsense, getting caught up in fighting with people, competing with people, crabs in a barrel, whatever, that they can't figure out who they really are and what's going to make them happy. Like a lot of us spend our whole lives reacting to the world as opposed to proacting to our world, right? I think you should proact. I think you should get up every morning, figure out what your agenda is going to be and stick with that agenda, even when the rest of the world comes and hits you in the mouth. Like they say, everybody's got a plan till they get hit in the mouth. Well, when you get hit in the mouth, if you're focused, you can get right back on track, and you're not going to let, what some hater said about you or what somebody brought to your table or some bullshit throw you off that game. So life really is the ultimate game. It's the ultimate investment. It's the most investment you'll ever make. And one investment I want to warn you about that I think I've noticed this. I've noticed this a lot with a lot of Black women in particular, but men too, is when people get so caught up in this whole wealth thing, money thing, career thing, that becomes everything. That thing becomes everything. It's supposed to be one thing. It's supposed to be something, but you turn it, instead of it being one thing or something, it becomes everything. I don't think that that's the best philosophy all the time. I'm a big believer in going hard. I'm a big believer in giving 100%. I've done that in my life. There were times where you couldn't get me on the phone because I was so busy studying, so busy working, so busy building. And I think that that's important. I think that if you pick a goal, you have to be deeply committed to it. But one thing I've seen is I've seen people, I've seen people who have done that so much that by the time they get, 35, 40, 45, 50 years old, they find that everything they invested in gives them a lot, but doesn't give them what they need in order to feel complete and to feel full, right? They're making $1 million a year, but either there's no one to share it with, they don't even have any friends, or they burned every bridge, or they are just miserable and unhappy for it for whatever reason. They've had opportunities to have good relationships and they killed those relationships over something small that could have been avoided, could have been worked out. Right. Or maybe you had a person that was a really good friend of yours and you loaned them $500 and you got so pissed off that they stole your money that you said, look, I'm not fucking with you no more. Don't you call me anymore. And so you never talk to that person again over $500. Well, I'm going to tell you, in 3 or 4 years, $500, you're not going to remember what you did with $500 4 or 5 years ago. You're just not. It's not going to matter. But what you will remember is that lost relationship, that person that you were friends with, since you were in elementary school, and now you're not friends because you destroyed something permanent and long term because you were having a short term issue. Again, I'm not saying that you should roll with people that are going to steal money from you, or you should always let that shit slide. But I do think sometimes we overreact. We mix and match in the wrong. We mix apples with oranges, where we'll take something small, like a little bit of money. It might be $200, $300, $400, and we'll destroy something big, like a 20-year relationship over $200, $300, right? So one rule I would say that I do believe in, this is something I had to grow into, is I don't believe in allowing something small to destroy something big. I compare it to suicide, suicide, homicide, right? A suicide, they say, is a temporary solution to a permanent solution to a temporary problem. A permanent solution to a temporary problem. So, think about suicide. You have some teenager who meets some girl or some dude and they break their heart and they're really sad. So they say, oh my God, I'm going to kill myself. Right. So now, because this person that you met 6 weeks ago made you really sad, you're going to destroy the next 70 years of your life. Like, you have literally, 4 kids, 15 grandkids, and 35 great grandkids that are now not going to exist, not going to be born, 50, 60 people that are not going to get a chance to live because this person you met 6 weeks ago broke your heart and made you sad, right? Well, that's obviously not a rational decision. That's not a fair trade. And so anyway, I will say that, at the end of the day, it's important to understand what trade-offs should and should not be made. If you're making trade-offs that are not beneficial to you long-term, you shouldn't do it. Let me give you a simple framework. I've heard somebody say that your quality of life is typically measured by 3 areas: health, wealth, and relationships. Health, wealth, and relationships. And if you think about it, when you talk to somebody, imagine you see a friend that you haven't talked to in 2 years. And you say, so what you been up to, man? How you been? What's been keeping you busy? What are they going to say? They're usually going to be like, oh, none, just been working, right? So that's wealth. They're working, they're making money, they're doing, oh yeah, I built this business and we're selling, socks or whatever, right? Relationships. Let's say they got married or whatever. They're going to say, oh yeah, I got married and I had a new baby and blah, 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 right? So they're talking about their relationships, right? And then let's say that they just had surgery, like they have heart problems and they got a triple bypass, where they're going to be like, yeah, I had surgery and I'm recovering, but I'm doing better now, or my mom died, whatever, right? Like relationships, right? So health, wealth, and relationships, those tend to be the three areas that people pay attention to. And what happens is that if you pursue money and career too much, you end up destroying health, by working too much and stressing yourself out too much, ruining your mental health, your physical health, especially if you're Black, because you got to also deal with racism, which is a mental health crisis. But then also you're ruining relationships. A lot of people kill or they abort good relationships because they own that paper chase. Like you're thinking so much about the money, so much about the career. I'm a lawyer. I got to go to work. I got to be at work all the time. I would meet you for date night, but I don't have time because I got to work on these big cases. That's fine, but I think there's a point where you can still be hyper ambitious, but find just a cutoff spot, right? A cutoff point where you say, okay, at this point, I'm not a lawyer anymore. I want to be a husband, or I want to be a wife, right? Or I want to be a girlfriend or a boyfriend or a best friend or whatever, right? Having that space that's yours that isn't occupied completely by career or by money is very, very important. Especially for a lot of Black women. I feel like for Black women, they probably need to hear that the most, because I've noticed with women, there's a certain point in your life, you biologically, where your body wants to have children. There's a reason why 32-year-old women are the horniest women in the world. Like literally, this is scientifically proven. Women between the ages of say 30 and 33 have the sex drive of a teenage boy. Well, why is that? Is it because they're a bunch of freaks? No, it's because their bodies are trying to reproduce. Their bodies are like, oh, we can make a baby with him. We can make a baby with him. Oh, we can have, oh, he looks good. Maybe maybe we can have a baby. Now you think it's all about sex. You think it's all about getting freaky, but it's not. It's biology, right? Sex creates people. Sex leads to reproduction, right? So so for women, their relationships have a different meaning than they do for men. They have a different value, psychologically, physically, socially, whatever it is, than they do for men. And it's not to say that women are flawed in some way. It's just to say that we're different. And so what I've seen is a lot of Black women who were told by their mothers, like, don't give up, your whole career and all your possibilities for marriage. Don't get married too young. Don't do this too young. Don't do that too young. And then they'll go into medical school, law school, whatever, and bust their asses and become high flyers in the corporate world and high flyers in the business world and high flyers in terms of making money. But then, you wake up one day and you're 44, and suddenly having a baby is much, much harder than it would have been if you'd done it at 28, right? And then, or maybe you're looking back on relationship situations where you walked away and the person, the thing that you thought was terrible, the person you thought was just worthless and you had to get rid of them, you had to cut them off. You look back and you're like, maybe that wasn't such a good move. Maybe that person wasn't somebody. And men can go through that too. Men have their own process as well. But I would say for everybody, I would highly recommend that you understand that relationships have value that probably exceeds money. In fact, it exceeds money most of the time. And what's really great is that if you think about money in the right way, you can understand how relationships can be part of your wealth building process by understanding two things. One, most wealth is not financial. Most wealth is related to all the things in your life that are valuable to you, which includes your health and your relationships. But then two, if you incorporate things, like, for example, if you have a family business, then you're able to incorporate relationships with wealth, right? So for example, every Sunday I meet my family on Zoom. The same thing I'm talking to you guys on right now. It's a very easy program to use. And we talk about business. All we do is we talk about business and money and who's doing what. And oh, you're selling this. Oh, well, if you're selling, like I didn't even know. I found out one of my relatives had this whole thing going on that was totally linked to what I was doing. I was like, well, why aren't we working together? And she's like, I don't know. I was like, well, then we need to talk. Let's have a meeting. Let's So it's kind of like, what happens in those meetings is that it ain't just the money. Like, sure, we're all wealthier because of it financially, but it's really the fact that we get to do all the little non-financial things that you don't get to do if you're all up, if your nose is in your work on your desk and you're by yourself, which means like I get to see the baby. Oh, there's the baby. Oh my gosh, she's growing up so much. Or, oh, hey, grandpa, how you doing, granddaddy? What you doing? You're 93 now. Wow. So it's little shit like that I noticed that was happening in these meetings that goes beyond just the money, but it's like the money isn't left off the table either, right? It's all together. See, cultures in other parts of the world, African culture in particular, go look at wealthy African families. Look at wealthy Asian families. They have very strong relationships, and they have very strong wealth, and they also have very strong health. What do they do when they get together as a family? They may get together, talk about the family business. They're connecting emotionally to one another, and they're feeding one another healthy food. They're eating together. So health, wealth, and relationships are all being handled all together. They're not being isolated and separated into different categories, right? So when you make a move in a relationship, you got to think about health and wealth. Don't pick somebody that's going to make you sick, give you a disease, drive you crazy, or leave you in the fucking poorhouse, right? You got to think, okay, I'm not just chasing the big butt and the smile, black man. I'm chasing, maybe she got the big butt and the smile, but she's also got, she's got some assets she's bringing to the table, or maybe she's got some potential she's bringing to the table, or maybe she's also bringing me peace and happiness and mental and physical health. She's going to make me healthier because she's going to cook for me, because I can't cook. Alicia does all the cooking, but and eating her food is far better than eating the bullshit I ate when I was a single man, right? So same thing. If I'm going after money, if it's too disconnected from health and relationships, meaning like it's going to cost me my mental and physical health, I'm gonna probably die of a heart attack and go crazy, and also I won't see my family for 5 years because I'm so busy working, then I don't fuck with that. I find some other way to make my money that's going to incorporate and coexist with the health and the relationships. Do you follow me? Right? Everything has to coexist. Everything must exist in harmony. And you got to always think about how one thing is helping another thing. And if you can't do that, then you're going to end up unhappy. You're going to end up miserable. You're going to end up one-dimensional. You're going to end up as a one-trick pony. So my encouragement to you is that you go and figure out what's going to make you happy. Figure out what matters to you, and live by that, like respect that, and just know that you're not going to get a lot of encouragement, because a lot of people don't think this deep. A lot of people don't process these things. And somebody said, you're a single man. I am not a single man. I ain't a married man, but I'm not a single man. So don't none of y'all be hollering trying to DM me, because I am not available. I want to make sure that's clear. But I'm not going to let nobody pressure me into doing things that I don't want to do. I told you, I've always, the best thing about my life that I've loved to this point, and I'll put myself out there on this, not that I'm bragging, the thing I love the most about my life is that I'm incredibly happy. And the reason I'm happy is because I did shit my way. I didn't let anybody tell me how I was supposed to live, or tell me what I was supposed to do next, or you need to do this, you need to do. No, don't do that shit. Those other people telling you what to do, they ain't got to live your life. They don't have to deal with the consequences of your choices. You do. So make the choices that work best for you. Get advice from other people, but do not get direction and instruction and have them force you to do things, even your parents, because that'll make you really unhappy. That's the key to unhappiness, is letting somebody else live your life. You're a human being, not a fucking avatar. Okay. So or a puppet. Fuck that. So anyway, I didn't mean to cuss. I gotta go. You guys have a good day. Hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. If you want to come to Los Angeles and join us for the Sunday investment seminar, just go to drboycelosangeles.com. That's drboycelosangeles.com. Also, if you want to check out our film, we actually have a film that we made on love and relationships, how to have healthy relationships, called The Black Love Blueprint. You can actually see the trailer at theblackloveblueprint.com, THE. That's theblackloveblueprint.com. I love you too, Sharon, and I thank you, Cree, for dropping in, and Alan and everybody else. And I hope that I wasn't being too pretentious by giving you guys this advice. I'm not trying to be your daddy and nothing like that, unless you need a daddy. If you need a daddy and you want to come here for daddy love, I'll give you the daddy love. But I don't put myself on any pedestal. I'm a person that has come to some insights that really work for me, and I really want to help you. I want to see you win. I want to see you happy with your life, because that's the key. I'm telling you, money is nice, but money only matters if it helps make you happier. So everything has to fit into your happiness formula, and I want you to find out what that is, and I want you to pursue it. I want you to pursue it fearlessly, because that's what's going to help you feel fulfilled in this world, in my opinion. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Have a good day, and I'll talk to you soon. Be good. Peace.